Hello everyone, and welcome back to more G-Senjou no Maou with me, Phantom Zwei. So, let's hop right into it, shall we? I immediately took out my phone when I got back home. I heard the report from people who went to Tsubaki's house. I thought I told you not to get too rough. I was quite agitated. They'd kicked the Miwa residence's door. What would you do if they decided to call the police? Come on, you guys aren't just some random hooligans. You can't go pulling this crap. Private matter? That's the kind of stuff from a normal company can say. We're a front for the freaking mafia. This isn't the old days when you guys could do anything you want. It's my fault for using the wrong people. I need to be more prudent next time. If the police interfere, then we'll have to stop. Damn. I hung up the phone. I gathered my thoughts as I typed on the computer. Sitting alone at my desk has always made me feel more at ease. Miwa household. Family of 7. Maou. Usami. I pulled up my email and began to type in fragmented information. Relocate. Tsubaki's feelings. Kindness. Used to my advantage. Maou. Lovely child. Child. Relocate. Private settlement. Money. Maou. Oh, come, lovely child. Oh, come thou with me, for many a game I will play with thee. There with thee. Okay. That's what I get for thinking I remembered it. Incoherent words glowed from the screen. Words I don't even know came up from the depths of my mind. I typed and thought at the same time. After I'd brainstormed a few ideas, I sent this email to my own address. I opened my inbox and tried once more to organize the words. I learned this brainstorming method from a businessman I'd met once before. It works quite well. It's not about money. I came to a conclusion. A conclusion regarding the reason the Miwa family will not sell their land. The appraised value of the land itself, combined with the costs associated with purchasing suitable substitute property, moving, and other assorted fees, is a surprisingly huge sum of money. If they would just move, even a family that huge would be very well-to-do. Thus, if they won't despite this, it's obviously not a financial issue. I don't like it. Every problem in this world can be solved with money. There's no way that you could convince me otherwise. In the meantime, I'll call Tsubaki. I called her home. Someone picked up immediately. Oh, that was fast. Wow. Sorry to visit you on such short notice. The dinner was delicious. Yeah, it felt very at home. I haven't had a meal like that in a long time. Wow, it's rare to hear you brag about yourself. Yeah, wasn't that your way of saying that you're a good cook? I guess I could take that as a sign that she was starting to open up to me. By the way, is your dad okay? There were land sharks, weren't they? The joy in her voice dropped out conspicuously. Which, obviously, we know nothing about. Really? That's horrible. What a brave girl. The police, huh? Honestly, I don't think that's such a good idea.
どうして？
Because the police are really busy. I mean, they might not take the case. I'll bet the police won't mobilize unless they actually start to get violent. Actually, there are some police officers who are even in league with the land sharks. In fact, since the Sano Corporation is the one backing the project, I wouldn't be surprised if they really have made some arrangements in that area.
無理かな。
I'd imagine it wouldn't. Like they say, no private intervention. The police simply don't bother with private disputes over land rights. Of course, what I described is more like the past, back when the Yakuza didn't have to fear the law. Now, the police will show up so man, I'm getting tongue-tied. Will show up if they so much as yell too loud.
そっか。ありがとう。浅井くんは物知りだな。
And you lie a lot. She really is a sincere girl. Is it okay if I keep coming to your house? I might be able to help somehow.
それは願ったり叶ったり嬉しかったりだよ。
Come true, Blue. What a strange way of putting it. Also, be sure to tell your dad. Tsubaki sighed as she replied.
ごめんね。彼氏彼氏ってうるさくて。
I don't really mind. I have my plans. It didn't really feel all that uncomfortable, you know what I mean? Oh, come on. Is there a single man on the planet who wouldn't be thrilled to be called your boyfriend? Silence followed. I'm sure she's turning red on the other end of the line.
ありがとう。日記に書いておく。
Why the diary? Still, there's no doubt that she trusts me now. Based on tonight's dinner, I could see that Tsubaki's whole family loves her. Her father is stubbornly refusing to sell the land. Yet, he might listen to what his beloved daughter has to say. I can make good use of this. At that moment, Tsubaki spoke.
あのね、浅井くん。
Yes?
私、浅井くんに謝らなきゃいけないんだ。
Oh? What for? She seemed quite serious.
私ね、浅井くんってちょっと冷たい人なのかなって。
Bad timing. I see.
1年生の時からずっとクラス一緒だったでしょ。でもあんまり話したことないし、話しかけてもブスッとしているような印象だったから。
Indeed. Until recently, I never had any interest in Tsubaki. What about it?
いや、だからごめんね。
Huh?
ごめんなさい。
You don't need to apologize for that. Again, this pain in my heart. That's not something to apologize for. Why do you have to bow your head over no more than an impression of someone? I don't like this woman. Or, I can appreciate the thought at least. Alright, so this is where we definitely need to start worrying about saving. Because obviously this is going to begin to affect more and more the route that we're heading towards. And initially, Tsubaki's route branches off first, so we are going to go ahead and head in this direction. I can appreciate the thought at least. Well, I understand. See you tomorrow at school.
電話ありがとう。
I still hear Tsubaki's breath over the phone. That breath lingered patiently until I finally hung up. A fiend. I'm a fiend. I don't even feel guilty about using a girl who trusts me so completely. I should get to sleep. I crawl into bed and close my eyes. The image of a smiling girl appeared in my mind, an image I hurriedly erased. This emotion raising its ugly head in my heart must be what they call a conscience. It's said that a studious person can never go back to hard work once they learn the pleasure of leisure. Similarly, rediscovering one's conscience halfway down the path of darkness wildly shakes one's illusion of control. That night, I had a hard time sleeping. So even Kyousuke is feeling a little bit of guilt over, double dealing Tsubaki. Or situation anyway. I left for school around noon.
Hi, Kyousuke.
Aichi found me in the hallway. Hey, did you like the food last night?
まずくはなかったかな。
You sound like a douchebag.
そんなことより、お前、椿に気があんのか？
You're annoying, you know that?
おい、俺はよ、お前のダチだけどよ、なんつうの？お前が俺を差し置いて女作ろうってのが許せない感も出していくわけだよ。
What's with you? Are you lonely or something? Come to think of it, Miss Noriko did just dump him.
つうか、例えば、俺がもし女だったら、お前どうするよ？
That's a profoundly disturbing hypothetical situation.
俺が女で、実はお前のことが好きとかいう展開があったら、お前どうよ？
That is really strange. Damn, now that's what I call a bad ending. Let's stop talking about this. You're giving me the creeps.
さすがに冗談だよ。しかし、椿を狙うとは、お目が高いね。
I haven't really started gunning for her yet, but yeah.
俺は役に立つぜ。
Is that so?
おうよ、こう見えても俺はみんな大好き栄一くんで通ってるからな。
Oh, Aichi. I see. So the ladies still trust you.
お前が泣いて頼めば、椿との仲を進展させてやらんでもない。
Yeah, he's sure to do that. You really think you could arrange something?
おうよ。とりあえず今日の放課後に俺扮する暴漢が椿を取る。そこにさっそうとお前が登場するわけだ。
Oh man. I was an idiot for thinking I could expect anything from you.
はあ？
Where on earth can you find a girl who'd fall head over heels in love over such a stupid trick?
椿ならありえるって。
Don't be ridiculous. Actually, I can't honestly deny it. For Tsubaki, it just might work.
何の相談？
Oh no, Usami. That timing. Usami lazily made an appearance.
邪悪な気配を感じるんですが、邪悪な相談ですか？
Yep.
いやね、京介くんがやっぱり椿ちゃんと仲良くなりたいみたいでさ。マジっすか？めっちゃ邪悪じゃないっすか。それで協力してあげようって話してたの。策を練ってたわけですね。邪悪な策を。
Oh man, she dissected it perfectly.
何かいいアイディアないかな？とりあえず今日の放課後に絵的吉さんを扮する暴漢が椿を襲う。そこに颯爽と浅井さんが登場すれば。
She heard it from the beginning. That's exactly the same idea Aichi had.
ほら、宇佐美さんもこう言ってるよ。
No freaking way. You guys are useless. At that moment, a teacher I recognized passed by.
宇佐美さんよね。
あ、のりこ先生。
As if purposely avoiding Aichi, Miss Noriko approached Usami.
あなたアルバイトしてるでしょ。
あ、はあ。許可は取っていますが、何か問題でもありましたか？
そんな話は聞いてないわ。
そんなバカな。担任の先生にちゃんとお願いしたはずですが。
とにかく放課後ちょっと職員室に来てもらいますからね。
あ、
Miss Noriko left.
自分、居残り決定です。
What a disaster. Bleh. So much
何
tongue-tied.
かの間違いだと思いますが、今日のバイトに入れなくなったらまずいです。
Do you need money that badly?
あ、いえいえ。店長にまた迷惑をかけてしまうのがなんとも。
Whatever. It has nothing to do with me. Class time. Hey, Tsubaki. I immediately sought her out after class. How about we go today?
今日も？
Tsubaki's face seemed somehow happy, and I'm sure it wasn't just my imagination.
ひろあきも一緒でいい？
Hiroaki. Is he the kid who saw us to the front door last night? Tsubaki nodded.
朝に遊んでってせがまれちゃったの。
That's awfully cute. She seemed to relax following that compliment.
今5歳なんだ。夜更かしばっかりして大変なの。
That's okay. I can just chat with your father for a bit, right?
わかったよ。一緒に帰ろう。今日もまた浅井くんと一緒です。嬉しいな。楽しいな。
Period. I'll certainly be busy.
おい京介、今日は部活にしようぜ。
Jeez, even though I'm already sick of that crap.
冷てえ野郎だな。んだよ、そんなに椿と一緒にいたいか？
Whatever. Shouldn't you be finding a new woman right now?
闇討ちしてやる。椿じゃなくてお前をボッコにしてやる。椿の前で大恥かかせてやる。待て待て、そしたらそれをきっかけに椿との仲が進展したりして。ちくしょう、どっちに転んでも OK 牧場博多行きましてってやつじゃねえか。
Okie dokie Smoky Mountains. I ignored Aichi and called my cell phone instead. Or checked my cell phone? That's what I get for not reading properly. Checked my cell phone. That's it. Cannon's not at school today. She has training. Things sure are quiet around here. School ended. Tsubaki and I melted into the swarm of students leaving school.
今日は栄一くんとおはるちゃんが来ないんだよね。
Oh, Haru-chan. Oh, Haru-chan? I'm curious about this new nickname.
さすがに勇者っていうのもどうかと思うし、かといっていつまでも宇佐美さんって呼ぶのも嫌だったの。
Even so, isn't Oh, Haru-chan a bit weird?
そうかな。可愛くない？
It sounds like something from one of those Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
私毎朝それ録画してるよ。
I continued to exchange in the idle prattle of a schoolboy as we walked along. I think Usami-san went to the faculty office.
職員室？
Tsubaki looked concerned. I think it was something about not having permission for her part-time job.
怒られてるのかな。
I'd imagine so. It's against the rules to work without the leave of the school.
本当に許可もらってなかったのかな。
I guess I can't say for sure, but that's what the teacher said. Tsubaki came to a sudden halt.
私ちょっと職員室行ってくる。
Huh? Why?
きっと誤解だと思うから。
What's she doing? Even so, what are you going to do about it?
私クラス委員だし、
So?
お友達だし。
Yeah. So?
おはるちゃんって変わってるけど、きっと最低限の常識は持ち合わせているはずだよ。
I repeat. So what? She shrank back a bit.
何か力になれるかもしれない。
Oh, wait a second. Tsubaki ran down the hallway. I waited about half an hour in front of the office. This isn't anything but a waste of time. Her friend, huh? What does Tsubaki even know about Usami?
いや助かった。礼を言うぞ椿。
It seemed Usami had been released, unharmed.
よかったね、誤解が解けて。
椿のおかげだ。
What happened?
椿がいきなり説教食らってる私と先生の間に割って入ったんすよ。
And then?
おはるちゃんは悪くないですって。
I'll bet that came as a shock.
いや、私も先生もいろいろ混乱しました。つうか、おはるちゃんってなんだ？
あだ名だよ。可愛いでしょ。
却下だ。
もう日記に書いちゃったよ。
とにかく混乱している私たちに追い打ちをかけるように椿はまくし立てました。
ごめんね、私も慌ててたみたい。
なんやかんやあって結局アルバイト許可証が見つかって誤解が解けたんすよね。
Wow. Nice work, Tsubaki. Yet Tsubaki just smiled as if she hadn't done anything.
私も勇者様のお役に立てて嬉しいよ。
Madame Hero. I just did what anyone would have done, was written on her face. She looked neither proud nor displeased.
うん、私はすごい嬉しい。私が男だったらお前を監禁して毎晩めでてやるところだ。
Oh my god. Is that how you show your gratitude?
いずれ借りは返す。というわけで、バイトあるんで帰ります。
じゃあね。
Usami quickly disappeared.
じゃあま 私たちも行こっか。
Yeah. These things happen, I guess. Tsubaki's frantic actions actually helped Usami. There was no calculation or self-interest involved. Yes, these things happen. Excuse me. These things happen, and it's very disconcerting. To a guy like Kyousuke who can't comprehend it. I was immediately surrounded by the family upon entering Tsubaki's house. Thank you for having me over yet again.
いやいや、構わんよ。毎日来なさい。うちが賑やかになっていい。
And it's already pretty lively, so isn't it already more than lively enough? The kids are all very open.
お兄ちゃん遊んで。私が遊んでもないの。
They beg for my attention as they wrap themselves around my legs.
いや、浅井君のことはね、椿から聞いているんだよ。
お父さん。
椿ももう年頃なのに、彼氏の一つや二つもできんもんかと心配していたんだ。
だから彼氏じゃないってば。
親バカじゃないが、椿はしっかり者でね、弟たちの面倒ばかり見てて、自分のことはいつも二の次なんだ。
Yeah, I've noticed.
どうか娘をよくしてやってください。
He bowed slightly, emphasizing his trust with a kind smile. What kind of environment can produce such a kind-hearted girl as Tsubaki? I'd often pondered this question, but I felt I'd gotten a glimpse of the answer. By the way, sir, no time to dilly-dally. I cut straight to the matter at hand. I've heard something about a dispute regarding your property. Tsubaki's father looked surprised.
あ、お父さん。浅井くんはね、そういうの詳しいんだって。なんでも浅井くんのお父さんが偉い社長さんらしくて。
お父さんは何の会社を？
Oh, you know, the people kicking on your door. He dabbles in both finance and real estate.
おー、立派な方だね。
Not really. I was thinking that maybe I could be of some help.
君が？
Yes, I'm not officially an employee, but I help with Dad's work a lot. A deep smile appeared on Tsubaki's father's face. He seems to be a little dubious.
気持ちは嬉しいけど、うちの問題はうちで考えるよ。
Seno Corporation is backing this development. He raised his eyebrows a bit upon hearing these words. I asked a broker familiar with the real estate around here, and it looks like the land in the Eastern District is being eaten up at high prices. The house and land alone would fetch a considerable sum, I'd imagine. That is, if you were willing to sell, of course. Taking the apple orchard into consideration, the price would likely skyrocket. I wouldn't expect the deal to be so difficult to stomach. Tsubaki's father then flashed a grave expression.
すまない。椿と同じ年頃の子だと思って、浅井君を侮っていたようだ。
So the reason you won't sell this land is because of personal attachment, correct?
君の言う通りだよ。祖父の代から続いている土地でね。いくらお金を積まれたって出ていくわけにはいかないんだ。
Won't that be difficult? Huge companies like Sano are promoting the development tourism industry.
地上げ屋というのは面倒なもんだね。
Calling them land sharks makes them sound just terrible. Technically, they're city development professionals. Nevertheless, because of the harassment and violence that took place during the bubble period, land sharks became the popular term for people whose jobs consist of driving others away from their land.
昨日はまるでヤクザみたいなのが来たんだ。
To be honest, sir, I don't think they'll stop coming until you break.
そういうものなのかな。
Their tenacity is something not of this world.
何にせよ、家を出ていくつもりはないよ。子供たちもいることだしね。
なにお父さん。どうしたの？
みんなこの家が好きだろう？
He practically jumped in the air as he nodded.
悪い人、僕がやっつけるよ。
I should leave this matter for another time. I can convince him, slowly.
さあさあ、そろそろご飯です。
Tsubaki's mother brought food to the table.
ご飯ご飯
All 7 members of the family quickly got excited. Even Tsubaki joined in their noise-making. Just promise me that you'll let me help, for Tsubaki's sake. Her father nodded in satisfaction. Kind of a twisted protagonist we got here, but sure does make for an interesting story, doesn't it? Thank you for dinner.
お粗末様でした。美味しかった？
Although her mom did most of the cooking, Tsubaki made one dish. Yeah, the miso soup was excellent. I rarely get to eat like this.
浅井くんリッチだもんね。いつも高そうなものを食べてるのかな。
That's not true. I don't spend a lot on food. I often eat out for business reasons. But I often eat out for business reasons.
ひろあきは？
One of Tsubaki's sisters suddenly latched onto her hand.
あれ？
I glanced around, but Hiroaki was nowhere to be found.
トイレかな。
Should I go look?
ひろあき？
She yelled. No response.
まさかまたか。
Again? Tsubaki followed her father's example and murmured something similar.
外かな。見てくる。
This is certainly a tense situation. What's going on? I followed her out. The cold night air brushed against my skin. Tsubaki, what's this about? Tsubaki had an overcoat on, and her breath misted into the air.
ひろあきね。いたずらっ子なの。
Pranks?
突然いなくなったりして、私たちを驚かそうとするの。
You mean he's done this before?
前もね、夜中にいきなり家を飛び出して大騒ぎになったことあるの。
What an energetic kid. He's such an overt troublemaker that I'd say he's downright brave.
怖いもの知らずな性格ではあるんだけどね。
He'll grow up to be a great man. I spoke in a joking manner.
とにかく探さなきゃ。
Where?
えっと、
She couldn't even begin to guess. I should help her out. Only for the sake of gaining her trust, of course. You said he's done this before, right?
うん、
Your brother. Hiroaki-kun, right? Where did you find him before?
近くの公園だけど。
Then let's try searching there first.
うん、
Obviously, it's unnerving to have a 5-year-old brother walking around outside at this time of night. Nighttime in the Eastern District is so quiet that it was creepy.
ひろあき、
She yelled at the top of her lungs into the cold night sky.
隠れてないで出てきてよ。
We are probably disrupting the neighborhood. Thankfully, the residences here aren't crowded together. I also yelled, "Hey, your big sister Tsubaki is looking for you." Of course, if his goal is to scare us, he's probably hiding. I doubt he'll come out no matter how much we shout. Frightening his family and wanting them to care about him are two sides of the same coin.
どうしよう。どこ行っちゃったんだろう。
Maybe we should call Aichi?
栄一くん？
Yeah. I took out my cell phone.
いいよ。浅井くんだけでも迷惑なのに。
Don't worry about it. I called him. He didn't pick up right away.
なんだよ。椿に振られたか？
He seemed somewhat jovial. Huh?
いや、慰めてほしいわけだろ。こんな時間に電話してくるってことはよ。ったく、京介ちゃんはマジ俺がいないと何もできねえな。
It would be a pain to explain everything. Anyways, can you come over here?
あったよ。じっくりと慰めてやろうじゃねえか。
I'm still at the Eastern District's park.
公園亭と駅降りたところの？
Yeah, that one.
干渉に浸ってるわけね。オッケー、一緒にブランコでも乗ろうぜ。
Oh, Aichi. Thanks, man. I hung up the phone. To the end, Aichi couldn't hold back his sinister laugh. He said I'll be here momentarily.
本当？悪いな。栄一くん。 優しいな。
He's gonna be so pissed off. You're really worried about your brother, aren't you? I could tell just by looking at her. The night turned colder.
ひろあきと今日遊ぼうって約束してたの。
I see. He thought he'd get to play with his sister, so when I came home with you, he started sulking?
浅井くんは悪くないよ。ごめんね、気を使ってもらって。
Tsubaki bothered to thank me for my thoughts. Well, we know the kind of places kids can hide. Let's keep looking. We split up to search the area. It's been half an hour since we left the house. We haven't found anything after searching the entire park. Let's go back. I suggested this and gauged Tsubaki's reaction. Maybe Hiroaki already went home. In fact, if we waited, don't you think he'd come back for sure?
必ず。
Well, a 5-year-old kid isn't going to stay out all night.
でも危ない目に遭ってるかも。
Dangerous situation? Surely not. You mean like getting I didn't finish saying the word kidnapped. It would be inappropriate, even as a joke. It is nighttime. He might catch a cold.
もうひろあきったら。
Because it's so dark, I can't see clearly, but I can tell that Tsubaki's coat is smeared in dirt from the park. Oh, un momento. Alright, sorry about that. Oh, just one of those things. Alright. By the lake, the sandlot, the plants. She looked everywhere desperately and meticulously. Let's go back. I feel I'm forgetting something. Eiichi.
栄一くんはうちに来てくれるの？
Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, Eiichi, yeah. I guess he should be here any minute now. At that moment, a person appeared at the park entrance. Even though he's pretty short, he's still way too tall to be Hiroaki.
やあやあ、どうしたの二人で。
What a colorful coat. Oh, you're finally here.
ごめんね、寒いのに。
Eiichi glanced at me.
どうしたのかな、二人仲良さそうじゃない。おいおい、なんだよこれ、どうなっちゃってんの京介ちゃんよ。お前が振られたっていう展開じゃねえの？
Tsubaki's younger brother has gone missing.
そうなんだ。
ありがとう、栄一くん。わざわざ来てもらっちゃって。
ああ、ざけんなよ、んな話聞いてねえっつうの。
Sorry, I told her you'd help us look for him.
僕は
ありがとう。
当然だよね、お友達なんだし。ちくしょう、気をつけてめ、話がちげえじゃねえか。
Hey, it was your misunderstanding. You jumped the gun. The three of us headed back towards the house. On the way back, we looked through the fields by the roadside and behind the telephone poles. Still, we never found Hiroaki. This isn't good.
うぜマジうぜ、なんで俺ちゃんがガキなんか探さなきゃなんねえんだよ。
For reasons I don't understand, only I can hear the voice of Eiichi's heart.
かさみ、マジさみ、ムカつく、マジ殺す、冬殺す。さみ、
You okay, Eiichi?
いやいや、これやべえよ、マジやべえよ。俺ちゃんがこんな苦労を味わわされるなんてよ。
Huh? Didn't you just show up? Tsubaki and I have been out here for a while now.
あれよ、そのヒロアキってガキンチョを見つけ出したら、俺マジやべえよ、マジ大人をからかった罪っつうの、人生の厳しさを教えちゃうよ。
Even though I never asked him to do much, Eiichi is getting pretty angry. At that moment, Tsubaki let out a small yell.
ひろあき？
なに？
he suddenly appeared from behind the fence.
びっくりした？
Ugh, little twerp. That is the smile of a prankster.
ひろあき。
The tension visibly eased off of Tsubaki.
ずっとここに隠れてたんだよ。まあ。姉ちゃんたちが家を出てくのも見えたんだけど、隠れてたの。
He showed no sign of thinking what he did was wrong.
どう？わかんなかったでしょ？
Even for a child, that was a bit too much. Forget about me for a moment. Tsubaki was seriously worried the whole time.
楽しかった。
Tsubaki fell to her knees in front of her brother as he stretched. They looked at each other.
ひろあき、どうしたのお姉ちゃん。
I thought she was going to scold him. No, I anticipated it. To personally witness a very different side of the ever-smiling Tsubaki.
よかったよ。
With just those words, she wrapped both arms around her brother. I peeked at the side of Tsubaki's face. There was nothing but the expression of a sister happy to see her brother safe and sound.
本当によかったよ。
She smiled happily again, as if to reassure her brother.
お姉ちゃん、僕をたくさん探した？うん。寒かった？平気だったよ。ひろあきは？僕は寒くなかった。もう眠いよ。
He'll never learn if you don't tell him not to do that kind of thing.
そっか。じゃあ一緒に寝ようか。うん、やった！
Tsubaki stood up and pulled her brother's hand. Hey, Tsubaki. I can't condone this. This will just make Hiroaki do it again. Just as I was about to say this, Hiroaki spoke.
ごめんねお姉ちゃん。もうしないよ。そう？うん、しない。絶対しない。
That's not how kids act. Like, if you just coddle them, they don't just learn their lesson. You know, I appreciate how this game handles a lot of situations more realistically than a lot of, you know, sort of fluffy VNs, but, you know, this is not one of them. This doesn't happen. What exactly brought this on?
だってお姉ちゃん優しいんだもん。
Mm-hmm. It looked as if there was an aura of strength emanating from the siblings' joined palms.
二人ともごめんね。ありがとう。
No problem. I was uncomfortable. I just stood in the doorway like an idiot. After being shown the family's harmony, I could only stand there purposeless.
ちょっと。
Aichi was the one who broke the silence.
嘘？俺何しに来たの？っていうかマジ寒いんですけど。
Looks like he finally took off the good little boy mask he wears at school.
あ、ごめんね。H 君、ご飯でも食べていく？
ご飯？
うん、肉じゃがだけど。
え、マジ肉じゃが？嘘。いいじゃん、僕肉じゃが大好き。甘いもの次に大好き。
じゃあ入って。
I'll be going home. I turned around.
お茶でも飲んでいかない？
No, I have an errand that I need to run.
お風呂入っていかない？
No. I mean it. I'm alright.
ごめんね。きっちりとお礼したくて。
It's nothing. See you tomorrow. I started walking away.
じゃあな。
I didn't feel the cold winter wind. This must be what they call an overheated mind. I started thinking seriously about how to push this family into selling. The wind tonight is cold enough to pierce through one's skin. Kidnapping. A crime said to be one of the most despicable. However, which crime isn't despicable? Maou fully understands that the action he's about to take is a sin. His people had already done a background check. He found the answer. The reason Miwa Tsubaki's family won't sell their land has nothing to do with money. That land has been in her family since the First World War. Her father is very stubborn. There was no telling how much it would take using conventional methods to get him to sell. And even if they did take the time to try, it was doubtful that the result would be a desirable one. this isn't a financial problem. But even so, there's a financial loophole. There are indeed many times when money cannot solve matters. Maou must at least admit that. There are emotions, love, family, certain kinds of pride, things that are more important than money to many. However, even for these exceptions, there's always a way to convert such things into something more fiscal. Mao's plot is to transform this issue from an emotional one into an economic one. That plot took on the shape of a crime in the perfect form.
あとは宇佐美がどう動くか。
He left that place with the faint stride of an evil spirit. Chapter 2. So I hope you guys are enjoying the game so far. We're getting, a good bit deeper into it. Finally making some real progress in the game, it feels like. But anyway, moving on. The next day, I went to Dr. Akimoto's clinic.
やあ京介くん、おはよ
The counseling room is clean, and Akimoto is smiling like Buddha, as always. Good morning. I hope that our 1 hour today is fruitful.
う。わかってるよ。学園もあるだろうしね。
I won't be showing up until this afternoon, though.
さて、前回はどんな話をしていたっけ？
We were talking about my childhood.
よく覚えてるね。
Huh.
いや失礼。前回の最後にも君のことを忘れっぽい性格だなんて言ってしまったね。
Is that so? I don't remember, and it doesn't bother me.
覚えてない？
What about it? I smiled slightly. Surely you aren't implying that I'm suffering from some sort of memory illness.
いやいや安心して。君が診察料を払い忘れたことはないよ。
That's a relief. This doctor is pretty good with words.
今回聞いてみたいのはね、京介くん。
His pudgy round face closed in slightly.
君のお父さんのことなんだ。
You mean Azai Gonzo? It feels like he's talking about someone else.
実のお父さんだよ。
Suddenly, my stomach started to ache. He was a trading company employee. Although he was deep in debt, he was always a wonderful father in my mind.
なるほど。
Otherwise, there's nothing much to say. I turned away from Dr. Akimoto.
亡くなっているのか
Gonzo hasn't told you? Gonzo was the one who introduced me to Dr. Akimoto.
何も
He looked long and hard at me. Anyway, would you mind if we change the subject? I don't want to remember these things. I definitely don't want to remember these things. That's a door that I've always locked tightly.
それだけ嫌な出来事があったんだね。
Dr. Akimoto, please change the subject. Good lord. I never once asked for any real therapy sessions from you. I just need a doctor's note, so the school will excuse my absences. That's why I cough up the money to uphold these, farcical conversations.
京介くん、君にやる気がなくても、私はいつも本気なんだよ。仕事だからね。
He spoke almost as if he could see right through me.
遊びじゃないんだよ。ね
At that moment, a proverb sprang into my mind. You can't judge a book by its cover. There was something important that I was forgetting. That's right. You're an acquaintance of Gonzo, after all. For a moment, I saw the expression of a wild boar in that pudgy face gazing sharply at me.
君に何の異常もないというのなら、すぐにも通うのをやめてもらう。重ねて言うが、私だって仕事なんだよ。時間は貴重だ。君ならわかるね。
In other words, Dr. Akimoto, you suspect that there might actually be something wrong with me? Akimoto shook his head in a vague answer. He never answered that question. Never mind. We were talking about my biological father, is that right?
名前を聞いてもいいかな。
Toshi Katsu. I purposely left out his family name.
商社に勤めていらっしゃったと。
In the Suno Corporation.
はは。
Whenever people hear of someone working at Suno, they immediately get the impression of a great and well-educated man. This impression isn't mistaken.
じゃあ転勤が多かったんじゃないかな。海外とか行ったかい？
No, not very often. Well, not from what I can remember anyway. I'm pretty sure he was an accountant in the main branch.
そっか。君はちょっと普通のことは違うから帰国子女なのかと思ったよ。
I chuckled and shook my head.
ところで君のお父さんは商社に勤めていてどうして借金を？
I believe he wanted to build his dream house. That was supposed to be a joke.
偏見かもしれないが山王物産の経理をしていたような方がマイホームを持つのに消費者金融を頼るとは思えないよ。
Dr. Akimoto is exactly right. And in order to pay for his debt, father had to get his hands on dirty money. He was swindled.
騙された。
You know, swindled. Swindled by his trusted friend, and ended up becoming his guarantor. Dr. Akimoto gulped when he heard this.
ちょっと待ってくれないか。
It seems he figured it out.
君のお父さんというのは
An expression of fear and awe spread across his face.
ひょっとして
That's right.
都市活と言ったね。
I was aware that my heart was rapidly becoming cold. Yes, he is that Samejima Toshikatsu. After that, time seemed to pass in an instant. Dr. Akimoto didn't say a word afterwards. He just closed his eyes. After leaving the room, I finally finally calmed down. I headed for school.
兄さん兄さん
And this is where we will pick up next time with Canon calling for her Nissan. So, as always, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.